Hello and welcome, my friends. Welcome to Thursday and happy Thanksgiving to my American friends. I know I'm a day early. However, I ended up having some appointments for tomorrow and I didn't want to miss this amazing opportunity to explore the week we enter into December. Crazy, right? This reading is for the week of November 28th to December 4th. We are entering into the month of festivities, expectations, and demands. I didn't want to miss this time to really support you in entering into December on a high note. So for today's reading, I brought out, I love this deck. I bring it out usually around this time. This is the Winter Waite Tarot. It's a beautiful kind of holiday, like more wintry yet somewhat Christmassy deck. Figure as we're starting into December, it's a fantastic deck. The creator of this deck is actually he's a small company in England, has some really unique decks, including another kind of Christmassy deck. He's got a couple of them. I really enjoy it. It's fun and it's festive. Oh, and as a total side note, I noticed on Kickstarter the other day my Northern Animal Tarot that a lot of you have commented on and how much you love it. And I told you guys every time I bring it up, it's a Kickstarter. I don't know if she has any more. She's actually doing a part 2, so a second edition to the Animal Tarot or the Northern Animal Tarot. I will go back and I will put a link to it. She is a creator out of Edmonton, Alberta, and I love my deck. So definitely a must. And then I'm going to pair this week's reading with the Enchanted Map Oracle, just to give us some guidance as we get into, or further guidance as we get into December. So without further ado, because I know many of you guys are really busy today, it's kind of a lesser of evil, trying to get it done during Black Friday when I know no one's around, or trying to get it done while people are still kind of getting the holiday cooking started. So let's kick this off. What can my friends expect from the week of November 28th through the December 4th? Okay. Many of us are feeling this way already, coming apart. This week is going to give you the ability to start to address this. That heartache and pain, those worries and what ifs. As we enter into December, and as I've been forewarning you guys, this winter is going to be challenging. Winter is always challenging for us as a species. We don't like being put into a box and in the dark. It's not what humans do well. So we already know that. We also know that 2021 kind of has kept going with the challenges that 2020 started. So there's still lots going on. This week, start to feel like we are more solid than what we're currently feeling now. And of course, how are we going to do that? By taking time for ourselves. This isn't solitude as a disconnect. This is a choice to support us with solidifying and strengthening us. We need to make that very conscious choice now so we do become stronger physically, mentally, and spiritually. If we do not, we're going to see this continue to dissolve and break apart. We're going to feel more overwhelmed, more burdened. We're going to get those physical ailments on top of our emotional challenges. And spiritually, we will feel that isolation. We don't want that. We can use the right of free will to make choices for our greater good. Taking the time now, giving yourself permission now, and giving yourself that energy to work on you will go a long way as we get into December. Those challenges still are there. You're going to feel that the challenges in your everyday life, the global changes and shifting and calamity, and then also the energetical push and pull. It's not going anywhere. I'm really sorry it's not. This week gives us this ability to start to really sharpen our tools, strengthen us. So no matter what other challenges come forward or how that mountain feels impassable, we are feeling stronger on all dimensions to overcome what we're faced with. Because again, that's not going to go away anytime soon. Many times these mountains are just going to seem like they grow because those what ifs and those heartaches add on to the challenge. We need to be using our gifts, our abilities, our tools, and our supports to our advantage. Because, like I said, a little bit of time now will make a big difference as we get into the end of the year here. Let's get into this week. What does the beginning of the week bring, my friends? So, the beginning of the week, we're wrapping up November, and we're going to enter into December. This can be a really amazing time for many of us, but some of us really struggle. We still feel like we're falling apart. We feel disconnected from family and friends, and the holidays trigger us. Again, we need to know these things. We need to reflect into them on how December impacts us, whether it be demands and expectations of others, demands and expectations we put on ourselves, or the whole season, or kind of a combination of everything in between. Just saying, we need to have that knowledge. This is the Six of Swords. Swords are about knowledge. The trick and challenge with the sword suit is that we attach emotion to information, situations, and events. That emotion is what bogs us down. And it should. We're emotional beings. I'm not saying we should shut that down. What I'm saying is sometimes we have to work through the emotion to get to the information that's going to take us further. Getting through that emotion is what's going to help us feel stronger and less fragmented. So we're starting off. My table has shifted. There we go. Yeah, perfect. We're starting the week off with a bang. We're going to jump head in to the challenge and start working on it on day one. Now, if you remember my reading that I did earlier this week on Sagittarius, and I apologize that, well, it's Sagittarius is a little blunt, so the reading was pretty blunt. We still have that very blunt and passionate energy flowing, and we will for the next 3 weeks. Embrace it, because Sagittarius is going to get us through some pretty challenging stuff. The beginning of the week, take that time to reflect. What are your triggers? How were you able to overcome those triggers in the past years? How are you able to set up boundaries? Or are you not able to set up boundaries? What supports are you going to need to establish and maintain boundaries? These are the things that we need. We need to use our head. We need to stay up here in that processing manner rather than the reactive manner of the rudimentary brain. We want to stay here, not get caught up in our heartache, in the fears. That's what's causing that fragmentation. That's what's causing us the challenge. We want to move forward and away from that. We want to heal it. We want to get going. Now, on Tuesday, I have a meditation that I'm just wrapping up here. It's a mindfulness tool. Now, like all my mindfulness tools, they are presented in a meditative state. However, you don't have to always use the tool in a meditative state. You'll find it's probably really effective in a meditative state because you're taking extra time for you, but you can use those tools as you need throughout your day or week. So on Tuesday, you will have a meditation mindfulness tool that is going to really support you in this. I had a great time recording and starting to edit that video where it's a mindfulness tool to release some of that anxious energy that we're feeling, that we're dealing with, that's causing that fragmentation and us feeling like we're starting to lose it. Helping you to stay present, stay here, and really work through some of that stuff. It's a fantastic meditation mindfulness tool that you can use. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Not only do I help give you that guidance, I give you those tools to support you in working through some of this stuff. I have 4 playlists, a mindfulness tool that I've just talked about, and then 3 meditative playlists. These are tools for you to use as you need. They're all guided. They are all fantastic at bringing in that calm and keeping you in the frontal area of your brain because they are all, including my mindfulness tool, presented as a meditation. And if you can't meditate, don't worry, I get it. Me too. Guided meditations are a lot different than trying to stay in a state of that can be really hard to just focus in on our breath. So those tools are listed below. They're on my YouTube page here, all over the place. Most importantly, they are free, guys. There are no strings attached. I'm not monetized, so any random videos or commercials you get, that's YouTube, not me. So enjoy them. Give me feedback. Tell me what you want to, because guess what? 2022, more coming. December, more coming. We need the tools. We have stuff to do. Let's get into the middle of the week. We are entering into December. What can my friends expect in the beginning, or well, the middle of the week, beginning of December? Like it. Yep. Hey. The one thing I can say this morning, these cards have been really, really jumpy. At least they're staying on the table in this room. Okay. Oh, yes. I love this version of the Emperor. It cracks me up every single time. The Emperor is the 4th card in the major arcana. So you're dealing with a major energy here. We need that routine and stability of the Emperor as we enter into December. Gonna need it all month. The more the energies increase, the more we're going to need this stability. We need that grounded energy of the Emperor to really fuel us, especially as things are going to get hard. We know they're going to get hard. They get hard every year. We're compounded this year. So the more we're consciously and intentionally focusing in on that energy, we're going to get out of this month. And the less we're going to feel that mental health and that emotion impact us. We're going to be in charge rather than reactive. I love it. So here's the King of Swords. He is the very Vulcan energy with the Emperor. So this is a major arcana, this is a minor arcana. This is the everyday aspect of this card, really reinforcing that need to stay in the brain, in that critical thinking, rather than that heart center. Your heart center is going to lead you back to that fragmentation, that falling apart, that disarray. Not going to help you. You're not going to feel good. And just like anything else, the more you sit in it, the more amplified it gets, the harder it feels. And that will, again, like I said, bring in that illness, that physical ailments that are connected in with our mental health. Think of it as a triangle. We have our physical self, our spiritual, or our mental self, and then our spiritual self. It's a triangle. If one of the points go down, we tumble. It's like a tripod. You take the leg out, it topples over. Same thing here. Stay in your head, critically think, assess, gain that knowledge. Like I said, we've got lots of it. It's going to help us move forward. We're going to find that throughout the week and throughout all of December. Things that will help. Think Vulcan. Use lists. To-do lists are amazing. That way, you're going to be able to literally schedule in time for you. Schedule in some of this release, because we know we need to do it, the healing and the care for self, on top of all of the other things that are going to be in play. Because many countries, only the US, but Thanksgiving is that pinnacle point of kind of starting that ball rolling for the holidays. Well, that adds in a lot of different expectations and demands. Like I said before, some people, holidays are a trigger unto themselves. We need to be very proactive, and we need to stay in that kind of very critical thinking, analytical thinking. This is what I need to do to get this done. We will be able to get what we want and need done, because let's be honest, some of these expectations and demands are our own doing. We all do it because we want others to have a great time. So balancing it out, writing it out will help you not only get more done, because you can say, okay, I'm going to get these pieces done, then I'm going to get these pieces done. And you'll see that that picture comes in forward, especially as we have such critical analytical thinkers here. They get the job done, and wait for it. We have a king and an emperor. They ask for the help. We don't need to do it alone. This week, we need to take some time for ourselves in that solitude energy to recharge us. We don't want to disconnect from our support team. That physical support team is just as important as our spiritual support team, asking for the help that we need. And in some cases, especially my parenting friends, tell your kids, delegate it. You need to go clean your room. I'm not doing it. This is a fantastic time for you to learn how to. That way, you're taking stuff off your plate and working on stuff that's going to really be meaningful for you. So stay in the front, plan, reflect. It will go a long way as we go into this week and month. I really should just turn over cards. Justice. It does have very much a Hierophant feel in this deck. I do like the fact that I was just talking about lists. You don't really need a naughty nice list, but you do need a to-do list and maybe a not to-do list. I don't know. But again, we're back to the major arcana. We've got two major arcana here. This week is going to be very important for you because you're starting to put forward some strategies, some routines that are positive for you. We need that balance, and we need to start cutting out the stuff that isn't working for us. So asking for that help, and in some cases, as parents, we need to delegate and tell our younglings what they need to do. and teach them. Part of that right, wrong, that balance. The Queen of Pentacles. It's a Mother Earth nurturing energy. Really reinforcing that grounding energy that the Emperor and the King of Swords brought in, and giving ourselves that time for us. Because if we don't give that time for us, no one else will. We get sick, we go down. It impacts a lot more than just us. And we're also modeling to others how they can treat us. So, really, taking that time is a win-win for us. We feel stronger to take on those challenges, and we don't feel like we're falling. Like I said, we are still in Sagittarius, so I do apologize for some of the bluntness. So, the middle of the week, remember, remember, remember. Ground, ground, ground. Stay stable. It will help you to stay sane. And that is going to be a rule of thumb as you get into December, and especially as we get into January, because those January blues, they can be a huge bear for many of us. So keeping that time for self, and yes, scheduling in some alone time where you're focusing in on you. All right. And I should say, we do have the king and the queen here, really amplifying that need for balance within ourselves. We all have masculine and feminine energies. No matter what gender we identify with, we have them both in ourselves. We need a balanced space between the two. I do have a meditation in my Just You and My Me playlist where that's exactly what I do, is I balance that energy for you. So, I told you they're jumpy. So balancing out will go a long way. All right, let's head off to like I said, it's a jumpy deck and a jumpy experience today. The end of the week. What can my friends expect from the end of the week? Queen. Taking the time for ourselves will really support us in owning it, feeling stronger, really reinforcing that inner flame. When we take that time, and it doesn't have to be a huge amount, guys, a little bit goes a long way. We feel so much better. And that, it penetrates and impacts all aspects of our lives. We feel stronger. We feel more empowered. So at the end of the week, taking that time for you, making sure you're grounded and stable, will not only set you up to embrace the upcoming month and all its wonders, you're going to see how your creativity can really flourish because you're going to feel good, strong, inspired. And I think I mentioned the importance of this. This is the Two of Pentacles. So, grounded, balanced energy. But it pretty much is going to sum up December. You're going to hear me say that a lot. Ground, balance, ground, balance. Because that will help you stay here rather than get into the reactive brain. Nobody wants that reactiveness, because that reactiveness will only cause more challenge and heartache for you and those around you. Before I get going, we have the Dueling Sisters here. Queens are the 13th card in the Minor Arcana. When you have that multiple 13, the angels are telling you to quiet your mind so that you can listen to that intuitive self, so that third eye. That's why it's so important to stay here. You're using your intuitive sense in your third eye and your critical thinking skills. It's a win-win situation. All right, so that is what the week is going to offer you. We're looking at working on self, starting to release some of that baggage and junk, and starting to stabilize you using here rather than here. See what's going to be the challenge. What challenge will my friends face for the week of November 28th through the December 4th? I'm only going to do a 1 week challenge. I'm already at 25 minutes and this video is going long, so I want to make sure I get everything. The King of Wands. Now, kings are the big guys. They have the most power, the most control. That wand, like I said here, we're looking at that inner flame. We're going to lack the willpower and desire to take time for ourselves. We're going to want to avoid working on this fraction, this disconnection, this, well, kind of falling apart piece. Why? Because it's scary. It hurts. We identify it and we give it its just labeling. It proves that we're not succeeding. It's the furthest from the truth. We're actually being able to identify what the problem is. And when you have a problem, you can start to fix it. So it's going to be a lot of diving into that solar plexus energy and pushing yourself to stay in that critical thinking, that intuitive energy, rather than that heart center of reaction, of heartache and pain. We are all sitting with pain and worries in our heart center. That's kind of a human thing. That's why depression and anxiety are so prevalent. And it's okay. We just need to, instead of just sitting there with it, use our tools and our skills and our supports to overcome it. The Chariot, the 7th card in the major arcana, really reinforcing the fact that we're not going to feel very stable. We're going to feel like we want to move forward because, well, right now it hurts and I don't want to touch it because it might get messy. Again, if we leave it, it'll get worse. Think of it as a leaking pipe. If you don't address the situation, it's just going to start to compound and cause more damage. Ace of Pentacles. We're going to feel very grounded. We're not going to see those new aspects that are there. We're too caught up in stuff. We're feeling too fragmented to be able to identify it. It is there. The more we start to use our head, the more you're going to see these aspects come forward. Additionally, the more you ground, the more these things are going to come forward. So the more you ground and the more you really set those intentions, you will see these cards flip from a challenge to a support. You're going to feel empowered. It's similar to that once you've avoided the gym for so long and then you go back, you're like, I'm just going to bite the bullet. I'll give myself 15 minutes. You get in, you get going, feels pretty good. I'll stay a bit longer. Same idea here. You're going to start to feel more balanced, more in control, and you move yourself forward to these new aspects. So we do have double kings here, King of Wands and the King of Swords. Kings are the 14th card in the major arcana, or in the minor arcana. When you have that multiple 14, the angels are encouraging you to be mindful of the energies that you put out because they will come back at you. Like I said before, if you are really feeling this kind of coming apart, fragmentation, falling to pieces, others are going to feel that when they come near you. They reflect and mirror that energy back at you. So making sure that you are mindful of how not only are you treating yourself, because that is energy you're kind of putting in, but it is going out there, it will come back at you. It can work to our advantage. You can use the law of karma to your advantage here, but it can also be a bit of an Achilles heel. All right. What further support and guidance can I share with my friends to help them embrace all they can this week, help them overcome the challenges with greater ease? Talisman. There we go. Talisman. These are tools that you can use to help you on your way. So there's symbols. So if anybody's done any Reiki stuff, they know all about symbols. We've got some runes here, and we have kind of almost like a pendulum type idea. We need to use our tools to our advantage and be open to different tools, because sometimes those tools will really help to reinforce what we're doing and confirm what it is we want to do. Use them to our advantage. We don't want to over rely on them, but those tools will really start to support us in our journey. They are fantastic. Tools, these are tools. Crystals are tools. We have them. It's just how we use them. Gentle garden. Really reminding you to be gentle and compassionate to you and to those around you. What you're feeling, so are they. They're part of your system. Taking that time, gentle for you, will not only help to teach others and model that behavior, but again, you're using that law of karma to your advantage. You're putting in that nurturing, you're putting in that compassion, gentle with you. That is going to be mirrored back in others. Like I said, you can use the law of karma to your advantage. You can use a lot of these things to your advantage. You just have to set those intentions and do it. Magical Map Shifter. I love this deck and this card. This is a fun and fantastic card. Reminding you that there are symbols, messages, and all sorts of opportunities. They're in plain sight. We're just missing it. There is no, it was very intentional that his eyes and third eye, the blindfold goes over his third eye as well, showing us that we are missing so much. We need to be in the present to start to identify and connect with those symbols, those messages, those opportunities that are all around us. Shifting our map and making it so much more rich and enjoyable. Peaks of joy. Don't get too caught up in this Vulcan thinking. We do want to have that joy, that happiness. We want to embrace it too. It comes back to that balance, making sure that we're not getting too hyper focused in on things, and we're not letting that kind of funky energy, that heartache, that fear to pull you down. When things are joyful and happy, that's when you let the heart center open. If not, you want to keep a rein on it a bit, because it will start to topple you. We'll take your triangle and really start to make it roll. Take that time to embrace those happy, joyous moments. They're there. Depending on how you're feeling mentally and emotionally, it may be really hard to identify. So taking that time, being gentle with you, and being in the present. Those are really important things. So meditation and grounding will help with all of that. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. And indulging me in this early onset of the week, as I know tomorrow is going to be very busy for a lot of people. Just remember to breathe and take care of yourself in this week, because there's a lot of shifting and a lot of breaking of patterns that you can start. It's going to really make you feel stronger and better. I will be live again next week. So you're going to get my meditation on Tuesday. I believe on Wednesday or Thursday, I will have it posted here soon. I'm going to be doing my Angel 101. So I'm going to be exploring the archangels. And then I will, of course, have my live reading on Friday. So I'll be back like normal next week. If you did like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It helps people find me on the sea of YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe. There's so much more coming forward for you in December. It's fantastic. If you're subscribed, you're not going to miss anything. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Until tomorrow, my friends.